Meteorologist Margaret Hollis.
And I'm student meteorologist Jordan Frazier. It's been quite a weird day today.
Yeah, severe weather this morning, the blizzard that's getting ready to pound the northeast. We've got a packed show this evening.
Absolutely. I'm certainly looking forward to it. Today's been kind of what you would call an upside down day. As the day goes on, you usually expect the weather to get warmer, but today, as a matter of fact, it got colder as the day went on.
Yeah, I started off this morning and didn't really need a heavy jacket, but walking over to the studio this evening, there's like a bit warmer jacket was very appreciated, especially with the wind that we're seeing today.
Yeah, more of a windbreaker. We have sustained winds right now at about 17 miles an hour and wind gusts at about 30 miles an hour. So even though it might only be 50, 60 degrees outside, that wind chill makes it seem significantly cooler.
Yeah, it can make it feel 10 and 15 degrees colder. That we had some severe weather this morning with a tornado and a severe thunderstorm that some of our other cast members were doing coverage this morning.
Yep, bright and early, as we should all be getting used to.
Yeah, and there's a blizzard that's going to be pounding the northeast this weekend.
Yeah, I know. Shane and Zach will be talking about that later in the show.
Plenty of coverage there. And we've got a colder weekend ahead, but right now let's send it out to Casey with an overview to get us a little bit more detail about what to expect for the show.
Thanks, guys. Let's get right into the national weather picture. You see the west and mid-central part of the country are relatively clear, but the east, we have this major winter storm, folks, causing some serious problems. It has a severe side to it across parts of Florida. Earlier, we had some severe weather this morning in the Florida Panhandle. We were tracking that for you on live stream, but now you see all the snow in the northeast, north central. We're going to be talking about that throughout the rest of the show. That eastern seaboard really being impacted by this pretty severely. Now, your current temperatures here across the local region, we do see 54 degrees right now here in Tallahassee. We can see that cooler air diving in, already 43 down in Marianna. That really tells the story. And as that's very windy, so it feels even cooler and will feel cooler than the temperatures actually are. We'll have a wind chill factor. Now, current winds 22 in Tallahassee, 15 miles an hour in Quincy, 18 in Marianna. And expecting for tonight, we're going to see 36 degrees. It'll be cool and windy around. Really feeling cold later on with that wind still feeling just as low as 28 degrees. But right now, we'll go ahead and take it back over to the desk where Jordan and Margaret are standing by.
So much, Casey. We are here talking about some severe weather that we actually had happening this morning, right, Margaret?
Yeah, there was a Doppler-indicated tornado down around Carabel on the coastline. It has not been confirmed yet, but whether it was a tornado or just strong winds, it's still something that it's good that people are aware of.
Yes, and we did have our weather team this morning bring that coverage to you, and you can check us out on social media if you wanted to look at a good review of that coverage this morning.
Up bright and early, 5 in the morning to cover that, and a little bit later in the morning as people were waking up around 7, we had a severe thunderstorm warning for Leon County, areas north of I-10.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Luckily, though, by the time most people were awake to start off even their 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. classes, all that severe weather has gone away and just left us pretty moist for most of the day.
Yeah, a little bit of drippy rain, but nothing too terrible. But now let's send it out to Kate with a look at our local weather.
Thanks, guys, and yeah, we did see that severe weather this morning, but once that pushed out, we did see a bit of sun, but as we made it throughout this afternoon, though, that cloud cover did increase, as you can see from this afternoon over Stadium. A lot of clouds. It's really dark outside right now, and it's going to continue into tonight until tomorrow when we'll start seeing the sun. But currently, right now, we're 54 degrees, and again, it's an overcast. Seeing really strong winds, though, so it's a lot cooler than what it really is. So when you go out, you're going to want to grab that jacket because even though it says it's 54, it's going to feel a lot cooler because we're seeing winds 22 miles per hour with gusts up to 28 miles per hour. So it's very windy, so it's going to be a lot cooler. We're going to look at this radar right now. This was that front that we saw push through and that brought all that rain for us this morning, but that pushed through and we're going to see just a couple bit of cloud cover for us. If we look up a little north, though, up in North Carolina, and into Virginia, there is that low pressure where they're getting a lot of snow and a lot of ice and wintry weather. But for us, no snow, and that rain is out of the way for us right now. Right now, though, current conditions, 54 for us again in Tallahassee, 57 in Monticello, a little bit cooler as we head over to the west, 48 in Bainbridge, 43 in Marianna, sitting a little cooler, 52 Carabel, 51 Apalachicola. Again, it's going to feel a lot cooler than what it really is because of these winds. 22 miles per hour here in Tallahassee. It is strong winds, and that's because of that low pressure system. It's really powerful, and it's pulling a lot of winds this direction. So again, 22 Tallahassee, 15 in Quincy, Bainbridge 23, a little less in Wilma, only 6 miles per hour, so it's not really bad for them. But it's very gusty though. Even though Wilma is only 6 miles per hour, they're getting gusts of 17 miles per hour. 28 for us here in Tallahassee, 33 in Mariana. So it is very strong and windy out there. So, you know, you might want to, if you're a girl, might want to get your hair up in a ponytail, keep that wind out. But again, seeing a lot of clouds in through tonight and into tomorrow morning. But as we make it into the day tomorrow, those clouds are going to start moving out. For tonight, 36 degrees. It's going to be really cool and windy, so it's going to feel like 28 degrees. So you might definitely, if you head out tonight, bring a jacket. It is going to be cold. Tomorrow, 46 degrees. Another cool day. Some clouds left over, but again, 44 degrees for that wind chill. It's going to be pretty cold, so definitely bring that jacket. And again, strong winds tomorrow, 50 to 20 miles per hour. But what's coming up for your week? Again, tomorrow, a little bit chance maybe that rain tomorrow, 46, but once we get into the rest of the weekend, ending it off, warming up a bit on 55 degrees, and then again next week, get a little warmer, 63 on Monday. Tuesday, though, more chances of rain heading into Tuesday and Wednesday, but at least we're 67 degrees on Tuesday. But now I'm going to take it back to Casey, where he's going to give us a look at the southeast.
Okay, yeah, let's get right into what we're seeing across that southeast. You can see some of that winter weather coming in here in towards some of the southeast. You can see parts of even central Alabama, northern Georgia, central Mississippi. You can see that really starting to get in terms of a little bit of snow flurry activity at least. Now, a lot more of the heavier snow up toward the North Carolina, further to north as we've been covering, and we'll cover that this show here with when winter weather impacts up that way. The severe weather side of this coming through the Florida part of the state, or well, the Florida Peninsula, Florida Panhandle as well. Now, current temperatures here across the southeast, you can see that cooler air coming in. Now 54 in Tallahassee, but much cooler to the north and west. 36 in Montgomery, 32 Tupelo. This really tells the story that cooler air really going to infiltrate our region here over the next several hours. And those winds, well, they're on the gusty side as well. You see 22 miles an hour in Tallahassee, 17 in Orlando. Those winds a little bit gustier as we get out to the west as well. You see 22 miles an hour in New Orleans, 15 in Shreveport. So really, the southeast seeing a lot of very gusty winds, all being fueled by this major storm system that's going to be raining those winter weather impacts over the next several hours and into even early on Sunday in the mid-Atlantic states. Now, your relative humidity values, they're high as well. 82% in Montgomery, 64 Tallahassee, 89 in Atlanta. It does feel pretty sticky out there relatively, though it is cool, so you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt a little bit, those values. Now, your water vapor imagery, this is looking at the upper levels of the atmosphere. You see there's really no moisture at this point. This is in the orange color, drier air being sown in that region. Now, as we go ahead and take a look what we're expecting here over the next several hours and into the next couple of days, you see some wintry weather. We're watching it here. We'll see how close it does get to Tallahassee, but not expecting it here in the viewing circle. Now, as we get in towards Saturday evening, you can see clearer conditions across the southeast. And on Sunday, it'll be a real nice day around, folks. We're expecting really nice weather, but it will be cool tonight. 36 Tallahassee, 32 Montgomery, and tomorrow it's only going to get to 46. Just struggling. Those temperatures will be to warm up. But right now, we'll go ahead and take it back over to desk to Margaret and Jordan.
Thanks, Casey. With those cold temperatures that we're going to see in the next couple days, that we wanted to make sure that everyone around here knew how to prepare, because it has not been cold these last couple months when it should have been.
Exactly. We had record-breaking heat, especially during Christmas time. But if you, for this weekend especially, you want to be prepared in case of cold weather. You always want to bring your pets inside. You don't want to leave them outside, especially for extended periods of time. If they need to go, let them go, and then bring them right back in, especially with the wind chill.
Yeah, my cats are indoor cats, but some of our neighbors have outdoor cats that were outside the other weekend, and we made sure that they at least had some food, and they sat on our porch to keep some warmth. And other things to bring inside is your potted plants, that if any of those are sensitive to the cold, bring them in. And if they can't come inside, cover them up with a blanket or something like that so they don't die.
Exactly, just something spare hanging around the house. But for now, we are going to take it out to Zach with the first winter segment.
Jordan, thank you. It is your winter weather update. I'm SU meteorologist Zach Covey, and we're going to touch on more so the mid-Atlantic than anything around here. This is the same storm system that affected us early this morning with some of those thunder and lightning sounds you heard. I know a lot of people talking about a 5:30 a.m. thunder strike that happened. Woke up everybody. The buildings were shaking. That is associated with the line that's finally pushing through the region, pushed through Jacksonville about 3 hours ago, and now we're looking at the low pressure system. We'll take a more zoomed in look. Moving through the mid-Atlantic along the I-95 corridor, still stretching on through Charlotte. You got plenty of ice with it. Portions of Raleigh, Durham as well. Now we're talking about Norfolk, Richmond, and the bullseye, Washington, D.C. and the BWI metro area. We're going to take a more zoomed in look across the area of the mid-Atlantic. There is D.C. clearly still starting to get into that snowfall right around noon earlier today. The Washington Capitals game against Anaheim been postponed indefinitely until next week when an announcement will be made. So obviously a lot of sports impacted as well. Along Norfolk and the Hampton Roads region, it started to change over around just around this hour. So you have seen some accumulating snow, but that stuff will begin to go away as the afternoon progresses and it changes over to rain. Blizzard warnings along the 95 corridor from Washington, Dulles all the way up through BWI, even into portions of New Jersey and Newark. Winter storm warnings in the pink and winter weather advisories in the purple. Coastal flood advisory in effect for the city of Hampton, Newport News, Williamsburg, York County as well. Same with Southampton and Camden counties in northeastern North Carolina. We time it out on our Futurecast all across the Virginia region. Snow across the northern half, including Fort Belvoir and D.C. Plenty of rainfall, but a lot of the snow system still also going to affect even portions of western Virginia, such as Roanoke, Warts, even down near Radford and Blacksburg. Buffalo Mountain going to get plenty of it. We're talking accumulations as high as, say, 18 to 24 inches. We're going to time this out. You can see on Sunday it's going to finally begin to clear out for them as well as much of the other areas. Now, snowfall totals for the Hampton Roads regions, once that moisture wraps around, you get that northerly to northwesterly flow. Once the low moves off, we'll be looking around 1 to 2 for most areas, less than 1 for the south side. Out west, we're talking 18 to 24. We're going to set into motion here. 18 to 24 in this pink color, 24 to 30, even 40 50 in this area that's not even shaded anymore. 50 inches of snow by the time all is said and done. 12 to 18 in this lighter shade. Portions of VT, Radford, and VCU also all looking at that strong storm. It's a nicer area in the south. We'll be looking at 30s tonight across our area. 40s in Orlando tomorrow, cloudy, 46 in Tallahassee, and 49 in Panama City. We send it over to Shane now with Local 2.
Right now, 57 in Monticello, 58 in Valdosta, 52 in Thomasville, 45 up there in Bainbridge. Good news. Just however, cloud area right now, but we don't have a lot of rain associated with them. Here's a wider picture. I'm going to step out of this so you can see all that out there. There's a lot of action up to our northeast right now. But as for the panhandle of Florida, it looks fine right now. That line of storms that was in the area earlier has moved out. And as for the future, let's take a look at that. You've got a large amount of storms in the offshore region. That is the line that shook us awake this morning. But what we've got going on in North Alabama here, that's a lot of snow, maybe even stretching into South Alabama and South Georgia. But otherwise, just a light rain. There's nothing to worry about with that. And then skies will be clear and cold this weekend. We can't stress the cold enough. That's why, as for boating, maybe not the best day for that, especially with the winds out there. Winds 20 to 25 knots, gusts even higher than that. It's going to be mostly cloudy early in the day and cold throughout. But let's bring it back home for tonight. 36 degrees in the capital, It's going to be cold and windy, like we said. And with that wind, you've got to factor in the wind chill, so it will feel like the upper 20s out there. So if you have to be out and about tonight, bundle up. We can't stress that enough. Hats, scarves, gloves, the works, you're going to need all of it tonight. 36 degrees is what we're talking about for tomorrow morning, climbing only to 46. So once again, the winter weather gear will be needed throughout Sunday as it lives up to its name. A pair of sunglasses would certainly be welcome, with temperatures climbing back up into the 60s with an increased chance of rain later in the week. But now we're going to throw it to Zach and Kate at the desk.
Thanks, Shane. So yeah, a lot of wind for us, but no snow. Not like Virginia.
Yeah, not like Virginia, where we are both from,
Yep.
different portions of Virginia. That's why I love that winter weather segment I just did. I know plenty of that region.
Yeah, so I know my parents, they've been keeping me updated. I think they gave me a text about an hour ago. They've already gotten almost 8 inches of snow since this morning.
Okay, so a lot more than my region.
Yeah.
We were Hampton Roads already looking about 3 to 4 inches of accumulating, but that changeover is going to happen overnight. A lot of that snow is going to melt, so they've got to wait for that moisture to wrap around once that low moves off the coastline.
I think for us, they're getting a little bit more of that sleet area right now. But again, as they go through the night, they're going to get more snow.
So what's the estimated totals for you?
They're at least, I don't know, like what, 12, 18
12,
inches?
18.
I think that's what your graphic said.
That's what it was looking like. Hampton Roads, hopefully you guys can get something 1 to 2. Again, we're watching all those watches and warnings, so we'll have the latest on Facebook.
Yeah, but Margaret is going to give us for that southeast.
Thanks. Looking at around North Florida, you see these greens here, Tallahassee and our surrounding areas, 54 degrees here, but then you start going west and you start seeing these colder temperatures with that cold front that's coming through. And it's just going to keep getting colder than it already is. 39 in Pensacola, 40 in Crestview. Those temperatures are going to be making their way here as the sun sets and the cold front continues passing through. Our satellite and radar. This was all that rain that we had been seeing earlier in the morning. It's kept making its way to the east towards Jacksonville. There's even more rain down South Florida. And it's just been generating a whole bunch of mess for anyone trying to get around throughout the day today. Currently, it's cold up here in North Florida, 61 in Jacksonville, 54 in Tallahassee, 39 in Pensacola. And this really shows where the front has and hasn't passed, especially when you start looking down towards South Florida, 68 in Miami and 71 in Key West still. That as we keep moving west where the cold front has passed, it's really cold. It's still cloudy, but yeah, it's cold. Water vapor. This is in the upper levels of the atmosphere. That all this moisture has been clearing out, and all these orange areas are very, very dry air up in the upper levels of the atmosphere, even above the clouds. This is where the airplanes are flying. But down at the surface here, it's still quite humid. 64% relative humidity here, 76 in Pensacola, down in the 90s for relative humidity in Key West. And that just means that the air has about as much water as it can hold, making it very sticky. Not as bad as if it was really hot outside, but still not the best. Not much on the radar up north now that the cold front's cleared out, but we do see that there's still a strong mess down south. West Palm Beach has still been getting rain. Zooming out to the whole state, looking ahead at what we're going to see the next couple of days, the worst of the rain clears out, and we just see little bits of moisture, like up here just north of I-10, and the snow up further north. And our model does get a little bit overexcited and think that there might be some snow over the next couple of days, but we don't think it's actually going to snow, just be cold, wet, so just be ready for anything that could be happening. But now I'm going to send it on to Shane for a look at the winter weather.
Thanks, Margaret. We've got a lot to talk about in the winter weather update, so let's get right into it. For starters, we're going to look at the whole country, see what the national forecast is, and there's a lot of nothing over the whole center of the U.S. And then out here in the eastern seaboard, you've got a low pressure system and an enormous amount of activity associated with it, from our severe weather this morning in Tallahassee to the now infamous blizzard moving through the Washington, D.C. area. Let's take a closer look. We're going to see what we've got going on around here. We've got sports weather headlines. Don't worry about that. We're going to take a look at the snow up there in the Northeast. In Washington, D.C., they're getting hammered with a large amount of snow right now. We're talking up to 20 inches by morning, and then further accumulations throughout the day on Saturday. We're talking rough estimates for the grand total being around 30, even up to 40 inches locally. We're not going to pin that down for you just yet, but let's talk about the warnings and advisories because we've got a lot of them. The pink area here that covers all of Appalachia from northeastern Alabama all the way up to the capital, that's a winter storm warning, and that means that we're going to have significant snowfall and also some strong winds. But it's the area outlined in orange here that we want to draw your attention to. That's a blizzard warning, and it covers several very large metropolitan areas from Washington, D.C., of course, as well as Baltimore, Philadelphia. It even catches the New York City metro area and western Long Island. And that's where the brunt of the winter weather is going to be, where the heaviest snowfalls and the strongest winds that could create whiteout conditions that would make travel exceptionally dangerous and very unadvisable. National Weather Service statements have been discouraging people from traveling at all costs, and if you must, do have a winter weather survival kit with you in your vehicle. And along with that, we're going to be seeing the cold, just not the snow, here in Tallahassee tonight as we get down to a low of 36 degrees, 39 in Valdosta, hitting the freezing mark in Montgomery there in Alabama, 32 degrees for them. And now we're going to throw it over to Casey and Zach at the desk for some sports weather.
Thanks, Shane. Yeah, let's get into that. A brand new segment here on FSU Weather. You want to explore both the sports side of things and the weather side and how those two interact with one another. So first off, what I want to do is start off with a national picture as we go ahead and take a look here at our graphics. We see a nice intro here for our sports weather, but just kind of start off with a national overview of the situation here across our region. And we'll be seeing where that winter weather is. You can see it here in the north central. First up, though, our headlines, of course. We do see that some of the big sporting events this weekend, we have the NFC and AFC title games.
Yeah, we do. New England at Denver, Arizona and Carolina. Those are two of the bigger matchups, obviously, the conference championships. The winner of each move on to the Super Bowl. We've got to see how the weather is going to affect, especially the New England-Denver game. Could be a little snow showers.
Yeah, we're expecting some winter weather conditions around there, so that's something I'll see here in a future cast in just a moment. What I want to do right now is just show you the current conditions. We're seeing very cool conditions in the north central, northeast. If you have any plans to head to games or know anybody heading to games in those regions, it will be very cool around there. And now in terms of the radar, just a big mess causing a lot of postponements in the northeast again. Your Washington Capitals there. Being postponed their game tonight because of the situation there around Washington, D.C. Significant snowfall is expected
Same
there.
with the possible game on Sunday against Pittsburgh Penguins. That will be announced tomorrow, postponement.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, New England and Denver, what I want to say is the forecast for that here over the next several hours. Now, we're getting into Saturday. For those headed out to the game, relatively nice conditions. But as we get into towards Sunday, we'll be seeing some of the snow start to approach the region. So that'll be something that could have an impact on that game.
Yeah, it is. So, you know, we're going to have to watch it, especially once you get into that Sunday at 8 o'clock. You can see those snow showers across the area. Something we'll be watching very closely. Plenty of sports going on all across the area, but none affecting FSU right here, at least at home.
Yeah, exactly. Let's switch over now to our NFC Championship graphic. I'll go ahead and show you exactly what we're expecting here with that future cast here over the next several hours. We'll be seeing that conditions will be pretty snowy in that area initially, but as we get over and toward the next several days, those conditions really will start to clear out.
Exactly, and we're looking at Arizona, Carolina. Of course, we'll be watching that snowfall over the next couple of hours, too.
Absolutely. But right now, we'll go ahead and take it over to our local look of things here with Jordan.
Tallahassee region, 54 degrees. We have overcast skies right now. The humidity is about 60%, and that is a result of that cloud cover out there. You can see the line of exactly where that cold front is, the cold weather, I should say, is starting to come through. Mariana looking at about 43 degrees. Bainbridge already getting pretty cold at about 45 degrees right there. And with that, comes some relative humidities with that cloud cover. It is going to start to go away as we go later into the days. 64% right now in Tallahassee, and that is a result of that cloud cover. That should be moving out of the way anytime soon. Current satellite and radar, you could see that big winter storm encompassing the entire East Coast, and it is just pounding, especially north, West Virginia, and Maryland up there with lots and lots of snow. Some snow even reaching Alabama and Georgia, and that will continue on throughout the rest of the night. South Florida seeing a lot of heavy rain. That is moving out of their way right now, and it does leave most of the Florida region covered in overcast skies, but that should be moving out later in the night. Planning your weekend, it looks all right for now. It will get pretty cold, especially when that wind chill that we are having right now. Wind chill can bring the temperature down by about 10 degrees. Right now we're looking at sustained winds about 22 miles per hour. Once that wind does come through, it will push all those clouds right out of the way, looking for an absolutely gorgeous weekend. But I will recommend to bundle up because that wind chill will keep it at around the 40-degree mark, and the high tomorrow is actually about 46 degrees, so you are going to want to bundle up for that and even have a windbreaker. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be about 53 when you wake up, cold and windy. There's that wind I was talking about, 15 to 25 miles per hour, and gusts about 30 miles an hour or even more. It will get up to about 64 degrees tomorrow, but that wind chill will get quite cold, make it feel a lot colder. On to your 7-day right now. Again, it's going to be about 46 tomorrow, so very cold and very windy indeed. Tomorrow you're going to wake up to about 36 degrees. It's going to be quite chilly indeed. About a 10% chance of rain as these clouds are going to be moving out of our region. Sunday looks like an absolutely great day, 55 degrees. That wind chill will still be there, but it's starting to move out as we head in later into the week. You're going to wake up on Monday morning to about 33 degrees, so a little bit above freezing, possibly a freeze warning or two Sunday morning. It's going to warm up nice, and then as the next system comes through on about Wednesday or so, those rain chances are going to start to increase, and those temperatures that we have come to get used to, all the cold weather, it will start to go away as we head into the rest of the work week. But it will warm up for next weekend and look absolutely fantastic outside. But for now, we are going to close off the show with Casey and Zach back at the desk.
Jordan, thanks. Very good 7-day overall. Of course, that one graphic had 64. It's actually going to be 46. We don't want to get anybody's hopes up, walking out in shorts tomorrow, especially to the basketball game.
Yeah, exactly. 44 is what we're expecting at tip-off time, 4 p.m. against the Pittsburgh Panthers. It should be very cool conditions headed out there, so make sure you're bringing a jacket, blustery as well. Those wind chills will be struggling to even get out of the lower 40s.
Yeah, it's going to be chilly. And then we're also talking about the actual game itself. Could be a pretty interesting game against the Panthers, who also have been struggling recently. We were talking while he was at the wall. They've been struggling. We've been struggling. So this game is a big matchup for both teams wanting to get into that top tier and hopefully advance themselves to the tournament come March.
Yeah, FSU hadn't been here in 4 years, since 2012, so hopefully we can get in there this year. But now looking at your 7-day forecast, we see those cool conditions initially, but then really starting to warm up before we see some rain come into the forecast.
67 next Tuesday. I like it overall. Very nice conditions come next week. We just got to get through this cool spell.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like maybe the coolest afternoon high of the year tomorrow.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm Casey Cloud.
I'm student meteorologist Zach Covey. For everyone here, thanks for joining us.
Have a good night, everybody.
That was a good shot. That was a good shot.